Well, hello, I'm Lupita McClenny, and I am the Director of Planning and Development Services for the Greater Salt Lake Municipal Services District, affectionately known as the MSD. And the MSD was created by constituents after legislation was passed in late 2015. The district began operating with its own elected mayors and council in January of 2016, and it includes the town of Brighton, Copperton, Immigration Canyon, Kearns, Magna, and White City, and the unincorporated area of Salt Lake County. In July of 2019, the first 5 employees made the transition to the MSD, and the real game changer happened in October of 2019 when planning and development had new life as it transitioned into the Municipal Services District. And so our mission, or our vision actually at the MSD, is to provide our elected officials and our appointed officials and stakeholders with data so that data-driven, transparent, and informed decisions can be made. And our mission is to support our municipalities, the town of Brighton and unincorporated Salt Lake County, with community management plans and programs that address land use, housing, infrastructure, resources, economic development, building code compliance, stormwater and code enforcement, growth management, GIS, and the delivery of services, utilizing the most up-to-date tools that support data-driven information for our informed decision-making. So our goal, because you have our vision and our mission, is to make assessing our services seamless, efficient, and relevant. And one of the reasons we do that is because today's customers are actually expecting more intuitive and accessible service and available at any time from all the government agencies. And this transformative experience cannot happen actually without a seamless strategy that utilizes data and data-driven decisions through GIS.
Hi, I'm Izabela Miller. I am Operations Officer at MSD, and I'm going to cover a little bit about how we're doing it. And I'm going to highlight 2 of the most important softwares that we are using today in our organization. The first one, we went with, we are Esri Shop, and we're using Esri for our GIS, and some of it, the most important part of how we're using GIS is to find the patterns, analyze the trends, and make decisions based on the data that comes from all the way from crime analysis to land use planning. And recently we have signed the license agreement with Esri, and so we do have our own ArcGIS Online, and we also purchased ArcGIS Hub Premium, which allowed us to build our website and the initiatives for each team, and also for the major projects that we're working on. We're in the process of acquiring ArcGIS Urban for our future land use development and general plan, and also City Engine. So as you can see, some of the Esri tools we're using for the analysis is mostly the 3D and spatial analyst. We're using business analysts for business, economic, and demographic analysis, and also utilize Esri software to stand up emergency preparedness tools that actually was a huge help during the earthquake, Magna earthquake that happened back in March of this year. So our second biggest software that we are in the process of utilizing is CityWorks. And we use CityWorks to track, display, analyze, and streamline our internal processes that are statutory for planning and development services and MSD. So currently we've purchased, we're implementing the CityWorks I think it's called Permitting Land and Licensing, and is designed to streamline the application process between our agency and the constituents, developers, um, builders, and so on. Coming into 2021 is MSD is going to purchase CityWorks AMS to help with the inventory of maintenance of our assets. And the reason why we're doing it, because we wanna use those two business solutions to help us to solve not only the problems that we see in our communities, but also to streamline the processes and visualize the problems within the MSD jurisdictions, and apply what needs to be applied in terms of business or in terms of leadership or support to tackle those problems. So some of the things we want to highlight, and the one in red, most of them are hyperlinks, so feel free to click around. As I said, with ArcGIS Hub Premium, we're able to stand up our new website, and we have dashboards to help to show, not only show our progress of what we're making with MSD, but also shows the transparency to our constituents, and to show that the progress that we are making with all the contributions and all the software that we're purchasing. Another one is the citizen reporting tool that really helps the constituents to reach out to us outside of maybe normal work hours to report an issue within their community. Again, the CityWorks PLL. General plan updates is one of our biggest areas of expertise here in planning department, is we are in the middle of updating very outdated, not only general plans, but also zoning and ordinances. So check back on our website for more information as we update. Lupita?
Thank you, Izabela. It's hard to believe that in just a short year, so much has been accomplished in 1 year by utilizing business solutions. And so the MSD and the MSD team is fully committed to working with communities through ongoing technical assistance to our tools that we're using with GIS and workshops. So I think what's important as we utilize tools and technology, that at the core of all of what we do and how we do it is why we do it. And we're engaged in maintaining customer service as one of our focus areas, so that the experience between the developers and the constituents who may not like change or understand change, and the planning department, is all on the same page as far as how we are analyzing why decisions can be made. We're using performance data in strategic planning and operational decision making because it is informed, it's attached to science, it's ground truth. And utilizing this, we can hold one another accountable, we can hold managers accountable by using data that actually improves our services and to communicate and to be able to tell a story, which would be impossible to do without these tools. I'm not a GIS expert. I just know the benefits of utilizing this tool in order to keep at the forefront data-driven decisions that are not cut and paste because it worked someplace else. It sounded good on paper, but that it's relevant and ground truth to the actual community that we're working in. And so one of the most important things that we're doing with that is ensuring that our information technology is incorporated appropriately for service delivery information, for sharing, and for public access, not only with our community development, but also just as importantly as our constituents who are living in the communities that we are planning for them. So I say all that to say this. Citizens can direct the course of development to what I call deliberate growth management. And that's one that accommodates growth management in ways that improves the quality of life for current and future citizens. And one that's sustainable, obviously, one that's economically viable and environmentally friendly, which with the tools that we have at our disposal, you can help your economic development team, you can help your chambers, you can help the backbone of America, which is the small businesses, know where a site selection can happen as an example. So we offer and believe that the MSD offers a framework that takes into consideration growth management requires this long-term coordination between land and public capital investments to be effective. So that's how all the tools do work together, our assets, our zoning, and our land use. So sound growth management is directly linked to more efficient use of public resources and healthier economies. It addresses all the needs for housing without having to guess what our deficiency is, how much we need for moderate income housing, where it should be placed, is it close to transit services work, as an example. And it also supports transportation, our choices for transportation. If we have a goal to decrease congestion and commuter road congestion, if we're interested in supporting energy conservation, we could do that through the tools that we have. So we're proactively addressing land use, infrastructure, economic development issues with the recognition that decisions have impacts that extend across local jurisdictional boundaries, which brings me to this slide. So the challenge to create these new opportunities actually grows out of the recognition that what we do serves a major role in economic, social, and cultural well-being. And future prosperity for everybody requires strategies that build on assets and needs and desires of the community within the area. So identifying opportunities and partnerships beyond municipal boundaries and cross-jurisdictional partnerships helps communities pull resources together, with whether it's capital, human resource, or other resources, particularly where we have a shared objective. So with that and moving forward, we strongly encourage cooperation with and among neighboring jurisdictions to address those shared needs. And this may be achieved by participating with the MSD and services, or identifying joint projects that will result in greater efficiency and from there less cost to the taxpayer, or developing collaborative solutions for issues, whether it's protecting natural resources or development of the transportation network, or by utilizing any of those technology solutions that we've had. This technology has increased our public transparency, which was important for the MSD as we branded ourselves, and particularly important in planning efficiency. So ultimately, what we're doing with our technology is providing our citizens, developers, and our policymakers with detailed insight. Izabela?
Thank you, Lupita. With that, I would like to switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about what our vision is and share that vision with you.
Thanks, Izabela. So what is our plan? We're talking about data, and we would like to start with center lines and address points. So I've been talking to some of the cities throughout the county, and I'm hoping that all the cities will join in on this. But we want to create these regional data sets that are up to par with what all the cities need, that are being maintained by each city, but available to all the cities in the region. After these two data sets, we'll move on to others, as you can see on the right side of the slide. But our hope is that we just create these seamless data sets that everyone can use and improve our GISs throughout the county. Thanks for including us as part of your conference. Joe?
Thank you, Kevin. I've been around long enough that I've done a few things with addressing, some of the people in the audience would probably agree with that. Maybe I've been around too long. But one of the things that I've been exploring most recently is the ESRI or ESRI address data management solution. And I have found it to be a really solid solution to provide centerline work as well as address points. It's of course built on an ESRI template, if you will, with ESRI schemas, but I've been able to massage it a bit to work with pretty much any schema you want. And of course, we're using the Salt Lake County centerline schema for our management purposes. One of the key advantages that this solution has is it provides a number of attribute rules already built for you. And for example, they have a split tool that you can, when you add a new street and you intersect it to an existing street, it'll split that street into two, and it'll interpolate the address ranges for you, so you don't have to do it. That is a tool that I think is just terrific. Another one, it also deploys geodatabase sequences, which I think is one of the better things that ESRI has done for us to date. Geodatabase sequences are, for me, what they allow you to do is create unique identifiers for a feature, and they can be alpha or numeric, and you can apply the sequences to your streets, to your address points, any asset that you're managing. You can also, the solution is flexible enough that you can also add your own rules. For example, I've added a couple that grab this underlying city polygon data or municipality data, zip codes, pretty much whatever you want, you can do it. I will, for complete transparency here, a couple words about arcade and attribute rules. For those of you that are dabbling in arcade, you know that it's a total paradigm shift in terms of your programming. I wouldn't consider myself a pro at it by any far stretch of the imagination. And these rules that come with the solution are really complex rules. But I've been working really closely with the ESRI development team on this, and they've been really helpful for me to get past some of those hurdles. So I've been able to customize those rules again for our own use. And in closing, I'll just say, don't try editing those rules at home. Give me a call or send me an email, and I can help you out. Be happy to help you out with it.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Kevin. So we do have a special guest with us today.
Hello, everybody. So I'm kind of looking at it from a collaborator with this team. So I kind of wanted to show what the benefits would be if we were more of a collaborating state, I would say, in that where we're looking between cities and districts and counties. And I kind of put the term, wouldn't that be awesome, as part of it. I was trying to look at ways where if you had a place where you could share the data before you plan. So for an example, bike lanes, I put that example up here, and that was also on Kevin's list. And this could be anything, but imagine planning for a bike lane, but while you're planning for it, the information's out there for the next district or the next count or city or county, if it's a county break. Wouldn't that be awesome? That's what I get. I'm thinking that when you're putting it together, you're not having a break in your bike lane. And so with my picture there, I was just kind of showing that, this isn't really a magic boundary line. You can't really see it when you're out in the field, but it shouldn't be a data boundary line when we're looking at it that way, where we can share the data across those borders. So one of the other examples I was giving is, imagine if you were responsible for street lighting and they were efficient lighting that you're looking for, and the coloring, when you're looking at street lights, coloring is a big deal for people. And if you planned it right, imagine where you crossed borders, but the colors crossed as well, and they may be seamless to where, you know, the sensors actually knew that a car was coming underneath it, or it knew the air quality, was tracking the air quality, or, you know. So my point there is, you know, instead of looking at just being smart cities, why aren't we looking at being smart counties when we take a look at all this information? Or another example, there's a million examples we could use, but, you know, with all the issues with the police departments across America right now, wouldn't it be great if there was a way of sharing criminal activity across just secured city, you know, city police departments, so that the data was there, so that they could pass that along as they're, you know, having issues. So I just wanted to give a few examples of how collaboration between cities, we'll be a collaborator, you know, on this, would be really helpful for our community. And with that, I'd like to pass back to Izabela.
Thank you, Nick. I don't know if any of you have more information to add during today's presentation.
Well, as a closing statement, I think managing growth on all levels is vital, as collectively it shapes the environment, like Nick explained, whether it's bike lanes or hot spots, or where resources perhaps aren't going and are needed. And I wholeheartedly believe our tools and our staff can help preserve or elevate or improve the identity of Greater Salt Lake all over the county, not just in our own jurisdiction, but as we work collaboratively or together while we build our image and in response to a changing world as we see it today. So thank you for letting me participate.
In closing as well, if you have any question, feel free to reach out to any of us listed in this presentation. If you're in, if you're out, no hard feelings, but just know that we're here available, any of us, to answer any questions. Plan is to have a follow-up meeting for all the communities who would like to be part of our movement, and to create the regional alliance and start working together for the better future. Thank you again, all of us, to all of you participating today, and to all of you who is watching us today. Thank you.